Yes, just the two of us, China Cheru. We are live on we're live right now on YouTube. It is not a very good day for Nigeria. Nigeria are out of reckoning when it comes to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Uh, I don't even know where to start this conversation from, but we are out of the World Cup, and that's after losing by 4 goals to 3 on penalties to the DR Congo a few minutes ago. Goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali did save 2 penalties, but it was not good enough because we missed out on 3 penalties. China, what is your reaction?
I have no reaction. Listen, listen. Like I explained the other day, we are on this set. What happened to Nigeria is like for those Christians watching us who believe in the rapture. So when you miss the rapture, some say you have a second chance in life. So we missed the rapture, which was qualifying via topping our group. This was like a second chance in life, God of a second chance. And you see, the thing about life is this, right? Like a famous ex-governor will say, if he didn't day, he didn't day. If you don't have it, you certainly don't have it. Now, for me, I watched the game because it's a game I wanted to watch. It was my country playing a World Cup qualifying game to qualify for the playoffs. Secondly, I knew I was going to be on set with you, so I had to see the game. But I had no emotions whatsoever. And that's an attitude I've kept while watching the Super Eagles. So I have no emotions because um, you take what you get eventually. Unlike the game against Gabon, that we completely steamrolled over them and won 4-1. For this game, we are out of sorts in this game. I saw someone on social media, on WhatsApp, on the WhatsApp group say the extra time Nigeria played on Thursday affected the team today. Maybe, maybe not. But the point is that from the second half of that game, Congo would have won that game easily if they are taking their chances. From the second half, Nigerian team was not available from the second half of that game. We are lucky to have seen the game going to penalty shootout. And when it came to the shootout, Ufoma, those those were the worst penalty shootouts I've seen in a long time. The worst from both teams, not just from Nigerian side, from both teams. About the worst. But again, Congo has qualified, deservedly so. They've qualified. For Nigeria, we plan to play the AFCON next month.
It's sad, if I'm being honest. It's very, very sad. The whole of that second half, like you mentioned, it didn't even look like we were on the pitch. Absolutely did not look like we were on the pitch. We had a brilliant first half. You could say the first 35 minutes or thereabouts. I thought that we could have been at least 2 goals up, had a brilliant chance, after when we were 1-0 up. Um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure the Atalanta man got his passing right, but he still fell to a Super Eagles player in the middle of the 18-yard box. But a combination of two players going for the same ball, ensured that we did not get something out of that chance. I also saw Victor Osimhen screaming, more or less shouting at the Atlanta man. His name just keeps Lukman.
Lukman, Ademola Lukman. Yeah.
Ademola Lukman. Yeah, for a split second, I forgot his name. I saw Simon screaming at him and shouting, "Why did you not lay that ball for me? Just across the face of goal, and maybe I could have done something with it." But afterwards, it just felt like DR Congo took over this game, and like you said, um, in 90 minutes and in 120 minutes, they looked like the team who wanted it more. They looked like should I say well coached team. They looked like a team that had a plan, and unfortunately we just could not get our acts together. um some have said that Nigeria Super Eagles is not a team without Victor Osimhen. China, it looked that way this evening when Victor Osimhen was not, did not of the come out from the dressing room to be on the pitch. When he got out, I don't know, you know, what made him go out. Possibly an injury. We will need confirmation of that one. But after he went off, the Super Eagles did not look like a team anymore.
You see, let me admit, I was one of those that thought Eric Shell was not good enough to be employed as Nigeria's coach. I was one of those. Let me also admit, I'm one of those that have said he has done a good job. At least his results shows he has done a good job. When you compare that the first coach drew 2 games against the 2 weakest teams in the group, that's Pesero. Then the second coach, Finidi, drew 1 and lost 1. He came in, he went 10 games unbeaten. So I hear. Now, but one thing that some of us will say is that the first 4 games of the qualifiers that we failed to win, we played those 4 games without Victor Osimhen. And the first game we won in the World Cup qualifiers under Eric Shell was the first game Victor Osimhen played, where he got a brace against Rwanda away. Then again, against Zimbabwe in Uyo, where we are leading 1-0, courtesy of a Victor Osimhen goal. When Victor Osimhen was taken off, Nigeria conceded a goal. So, listen, are we saying that without Victor Osimhen, the Super Eagles cannot win a game? Because just like you pointed out, the moment he was taken off, the whole team collapsed because there's this energy he has, there's this threat he has, that with him on the pitch, I mean, the opponents cannot have peace. But the moment he left the pitch, it was a field day from there for them. Their defense relaxed, their midfield took over, and all of that. So listen, I mean, it just shows one thing. It shows how important Osimhen is with the Super Eagles. But it's a team game, like they will say. The team must learn to play together, whether he's there or not. But obviously, from what we have seen in the World Cup qualifiers, from the first match to this one, without Osimhen, we just cannot win games.
Isn't that a ticking time bomb? Knowing that, like you just pointed out, in all of the cases you pointed out, every time he is not on the field of play, every time he's out injured, at least in this World Cup qualifiers, we haven't seemed to know what we're doing. We've got a Cup of Nations, Africa Cup of Nations, in about a month's time. Today is the 16th. That competition starts in about a month and a few days from now. Are we saying that, God forbid, something happens to Victor Osimhen between now and December, or even just as the competition starts?
Listen. Don't waste your breath. That's what we are saying. Don't even waste your breath. That's what we are saying. Because listen, it's one thing to make conjectures, right? It's another thing to see staring you in the face. I just told you something. The first 4 games in the qualifiers, against Lesotho, against Zimbabwe, against South Africa, and against Benin Republic, Osimhen did not play. We drew 3 and lost 1. The first game he played away to Rwanda, we won 2-0. Was it 2-1, 2-0? We won. The second game he played at home to Zimbabwe, he scored in that game. The moment he was taken off, we collapsed and Rwanda equalized. And he played every other game and we kept on winning and we drew against South Africa away. And look what happened today. The moment he was taken off, our team failed to exist. So it's not like it's not make believe. It's what we have seen. Now, someone on the WhatsApp group said, someone on the WhatsApp group said, this is the reason why I do not blame the former coaches for not doing well with the team. Because obviously the team cannot play without Osimhen. And the first 4 games they didn't do well, Osimhen did not play. Whether I like it or not, it's the truth. It's staring us in the face.
Are you seeing the comments?
No, I can't see that. You can read it. I can't see it clearly.
All right. Owolodu Naomi Day put out a comment. He says, Nigeria, Osimhen in brackets, national football team.
National team. Okay, I just saw it. Yeah, I just saw it now. Yeah. But it's what it is, and what is staring us in the face right now. Or again, on another WhatsApp group, a friend was angry at the attention given to Victor Osimhen, and he was like saying, "We are making it look like no, it's a team game. Yeah, it's a team game, but the team should learn to play as a team and not act
Mm.
like and not act like they have rocks inside their boots the moment one player leaves." Yeah, and that's what it's looking like. That is exactly what it's looking like.
We have another comment from Ayobami Shea who says we started losing when Osimhen was removed. Well, that's exactly the conversation we're having right now. If you just joined us, this is for Skolo TV. We're still doing test transmission just for the records. No, we haven't started fully. This channel, we would have football conversations right here in a matter of weeks. Hopefully, we're going to have 3 different podcasts coming your way. One of them is called Full Time, as you can see on the right top corner. Full Time, where we discuss everything football, football, and football. We would also have another podcast which is called Top 4+1. Top 4+1 podcast. Well, in that podcast, we'll be discussing the big clubs in the Premier League: Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester City. Everything that concerns these 5 clubs in the Premier League. That's what that podcast will be all about. And of course, we will have another one which is strictly for Arsenal fans. It is called Niger Ghana Pod. Niger Ghana Pod. For all of you Arsenal fans, I am an Arsenal fan, by the way, just in case you do not know. All of you Arsenal fans, all of you Arsenal haters and rivals who want to know things about Arsenal, not to worry, Niger Ghana Pod is for you. But of course, today it is full time. And on Full Time today, we're discussing Nigeria's exit from the 2026 World Cup. We thought we could get away with it, possibly get by via the playoffs. Got that win over Congo DR a couple of days ago. Sorry, Gabon over a few days ago. But unfortunately, we met our match today. Congo DR started slow, conceded in the 3rd minute off a deflected Frank Onyeka shot. However, it came back strong. Alex Iwobi lost the ball, and a quick counter from the DR Congo team saw our captain, Wilfred Ndidi, more or less put the ball on a plate. Let me use that line that has been trending a few days now, for them to get the equalizer. Ended 1-1 in 90 minutes, and after extra time, still 1-1. Went to penalties. The goalkeeper, Stanley Nwabali, saved 2, but it was not enough because Nigeria Super Eagles lost 4 penalties and ended up losing 4-3. Guys, keep your comments coming. I can see some of them here already. We will take as many of them as possible. Ayomide comes again and says, we shouldn't have been in this dilemma from the beginning. NFF had months to prepare for this, and they fumbled it from the Under-20 World Cup to failing to qualify in the Under-17 World Cup. Well, China, definitely, when you have such failures, quite a number of football fans will be angry. Blames will be thrown left, right, and center. Ayomide says it's the NFF. What say you? How did we get to this mess this evening that culminated in our exit tonight?
Ah, how do we get into this mess, right?
Yes.
First was
Long.
first was first was what's the word? I'm looking for the right word. When you have too many coaches in one qualifying series,
Mm.
there's a word for it, but actually had 4 coaches. 4 coaches. And the last time we had something close was during the rundown to France '98, where we had between the first qualifying game to the World Cup
Shuaibu
proper, we had about
Trezeguet.
we started with Shaibu Amodu. Amodu was
Mm.
sacked. We brought in Philip Tuesday. Philip Tuesday qualified us for the World Cup. We said it was not good enough. They were now brought in Monday Sinclair. Monday Sinclair had 2 matches with the team. Then eventually Bora Milutinovic took us to the World Cup. But that it was, so that 4 coaches in one qualifying round, in one qualifying series. I think that was just too bad. And that's because of okay, for the first coach, Pesero. He had done the first two games where he drew against the weakest teams in the group, Lesotho at home and Zimbabwe away. The same Pesero took us to the AFCON final, which I thought a lot of us did not like the way the Super Eagles played at the AFCON, but he got us to the
Mm-hmm.
final. He got us to the final, which for me was not bad. But we failed to renew his contract, and that was how he left. Then we brought in Finidi George. Finidi drew at home to South Africa and lost away to Benin Republic. Again, no Victor Osimhen in these two games. And then the issue of, do we bring in a foreign coach? What happens to Finidi? So he resigned, and they bring in Eric Schell. But before then, Eguavoen comes in and plays 6 AFCON qualifiers and leaves after the AFCON qualifiers. Then Schell comes and continues with the World Cup qualifiers. So 4 coaches in that race. I think that does a lot to destabilize the team, because each coach comes with his own school of thought and his own ideas. Now, first things first, and let's not talk about this. If we have any honor in Nigeria, every single member of the executive committee of the Nigeria Football Federation to commit what the Japanese call harakiri or seppuku, when you're disgraced and you fall on your sword to avoid the public disgrace. So they need to do it tonight or tomorrow morning. Resign. I mean, it's not going to happen because it's Nigeria, but they need to do it, because you cannot not go for 2 World Cups consecutively and you raise your shoulder and say, I'm a member of the board of the Nigeria Football Federation. Who cares? When you cannot achieve the basic thing, we're not going to win the World Cup. We know, but get us there. Get us there. So, because the mess started with them. So I believe that they should commit a harakiri tonight and fall on their swords by resigning. But Ufoma, we know it's just wishful thinking. It's not going to happen.
I've
It's not
got
going to happen.
I've got a comment here from someone I think is from DR Congo. Modest Musangu says Nigeria people chop up. I don't know what that means, or is it chop up? DR Congo is the best. Well, that's what you get. That's what you get
Well,
when they were the better team, if we're being honest today. They were
DR Congo, yes, tonight they are the better team tonight, but they're not the best. No team playing the playoffs is the best, or else we would have been in the playoffs. Whether Nigeria, Congo, Cameroon, Gabon, we are not the best, or else we would have qualified from our groups. But for tonight, DR Congo was by a country mile the better team. They should have won the game in 90 minutes. They should have. Second half belonged to them. They should have won the game in 90 minutes, but somehow they let it go to penalty shootout and they still won regardless. But we are the better team tonight.
So quickly, we do not intend to spend so much time on this
Because
analysis, because
because because I want to watch a movie. I'm watching a movie tonight. You know that.
it
I'm
is
watching a movie
it
tonight.
is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
But critically, let's look at the team. I remember a couple of days ago, myself, yourself, and Fisayo, we talked about the fact that Ademola Lookman, the current African Footballer of the Year, yeah, should not have started that game. He has not been in the best of form in the last few months. Many have argued that, myself included, that the issues he had at Atalanta, which ensured he's not played as many games as he should, has sort of derailed his form. Today, he looked really, really lost, just as he was against Gabon, just as he was in the last 2 matches we played in the World Cup qualifiers. Not just himself, in this particular one. But unfortunately, even when the wingers were substituted, the guys that came on in their place, the Sevilla man, who played on the right, and
Chidera Eduque.
both himself and Victor Simon, they were no better.
Moses Simon.
Moses Simon, sorry, they were no better. They could not hold on to the ball. They had misplaced passes. They were no better than the guys who started that game. It just looked like we pressed the self-destruct button, so to speak. Our passes were terrible. The Nigerian at full. Why are all of their names escaping my head this evening?
At Fulham,
Alex
Calvin
Iwobi.
Bassey,
Alex
Alex
Iwobi.
Iwobi.
Yeah, there's one I was about to talk about. Um, he was misplacing passes today. His teammate Chukwueze, at Fulham, also not. He tried at in the first 20-25 minutes, but also not good enough. We just had loads and loads of players who are passengers today. I think the defense line did their job. If we're being fair, defense line did their job. But a lot of our attackers just did not come to the party this
See,
evening.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to sound like a person that's now complaining because we lost. But what it is, we don't have a good team. We've not had a good team for a long time. I heard you say the defense line did their best or did well. Let me tell you, you watched Game of Thrones, right?
Mm.
Remember that epic scene? Hold the door, hold the
Uh-huh.
door, hold the
Yeah,
door. That's what
season
our defense did tonight.
season
That's what they did
six,
tonight.
episode 5.
That's what the defense did tonight. Hold the door. That's all they did. Because it was like when the midfield did not exist, it was like an expressway from the Congolese defense to our defense. So all they did was just to hold the door, hold back, hold back. Well, they did a good job at holding back. Now, without naming names, right? Okay, let me name names. As far as I'm concerned, and you're free to disagree with me, we have those two Super Eagles players, Victor Osimhen and Stanley Wabali. You feel free to disagree with me. Now, then without naming names, there are at least 6 players in that team we should not see again wearing the green, white, green. We should not see them again.
No,
And
you
if
should
the
name
coach,
names though. Why don't
no,
you want to
no,
name names?
no, and if the coach has any balls, they shouldn't even be at the AFCON. We should start from there. They shouldn't be at the AFCON. For example, Alex will be a strike for us. But listen, what has come out of it? If anyone has come out of it, our
He had
captain
he
William
had
Troost-Ekong,
he had a poor game today.
our
Let's talk about Alex
our
Iwobi. He
our,
had a poor game
hold
today.
on. I'm talking about players I don't want to see in Super Eagles again. Because we need a fresh start. We need a fresh start. A player like Moses Simon, please, please, please. His legs are heavier than mine, as fat as I am. A player like Ndidi, yes, he gave an assist against Gabon, but really, really, come in the whole World Cup qualifying race. What has been his positives for the team? Am I the only one seeing this? We should beat them a deserving farewell. They've done well for the team, but it's time to move forward. It's
But
really time to move forward.
we have a Nations Cup in 5 weeks. Is this
That we
the
won't
time
win.
to make,
That
is
we
this the
won't.
time
That we won't win.
who says we won't win?
A Nations Cup that we won't win.
Who says we can't win the Nations Cup? Did you
Your
think we
podcast
were
will
going to
not
win?
end, right?
Did you think we were
Wait.
going to win the Nations Cup in 2013 when we won?
Yes, I did. Yes, the moment question became coach, I said it. I did. I was one of those few Nigerians.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was one of those few Nigerians.
Okay,
Listen,
I think
my
I'm
my
having
views. Okay,
go ahead, go ahead. Your views are what?
my views might sound radical, right? It might sound radical, but we need to start thinking about the next World Cup, not next month's AFCON. Our problem as Nigerians has been that we never see beyond our noses. We want to win the next AFCON that we will not win eventually. They want to win the next game, and before you know, it's 4 years' time, and we have failed to win the World Cup. What we should be asking now is like, now William Troost-Ekong. Like I said, listen, I'm not trying to pull him down in any way. He has done a great job as captain of the team. But do we sincerely think that he will be playing in that team by 2030? Answer is no. Answer is no. So why don't we start building for a life without him? A person like Alex Iwobi, a person like Moses Simon, I'm calling names now. A person like Ndidi, do we sincerely think that they will be integral members of the team in the next 4 years? That's how serious countries plan. There are those one or two players that oh, listen, in Cameroon had the Rosen Miller, who at 38 was player of the World Cup. Yes, there are exceptional cases. But let's look at what we have now. And let's ask ourselves, by 2030, do we think that some of these players will be very effective? It's time to start this now. Unless you think you're going to win the AFCON. If you're going to win the AFCON, okay, fair enough. Let's win the AFCON first. They will have enough time to plan. But we must start planning at some point in our lives. That's what I think.
Well, I think you do have a point, but I think that that plan should not be for AFCON. I think it'll be a little too drastic. We've got 5 weeks before the Nations Cup starts. Taking off these key players or these experienced players that you've mentioned might just be it might be us repeating what we did ahead of the
Oh, this
2002 World
where?
Cup. If you remember, ahead of 2000
No,
when we
no,
dropped.
no, no.
When we,
In in
wait.
in in 2002, right?
Mm,
We dropped our best players in the team for reasons of pride. Sunday Olise, Finidi George, Victor Agali, Yakubu Aigbeni. Those were our best players at that time because of pride, because of sharing formula for the World Cup largesse. That was a different ballgame entirely. But in any case, I'm just me. I'm not the coach of the team. I'm not an NFF member. So maybe my head is not thinking right. But we need to plan ahead. And in planning, we need to ask ourselves some tough questions, some really, really tough questions. Where do we see ourselves in 2030? Where do we see ourselves in 2028? Players like Benjamin Fredericks, they should be like the shining light in the team that we should be looking at as the team leaders in the next 4 years. Because if the target is not the World Cup, then why are we playing this football at national team level? So where will we be in the next 4 years? Is it Stanley Wabali? Is it Maduka Okoye? We should be thinking ahead. But the thing is that we don't think. We really don't think. We just want to win today. Now we have failed to win today. We are thinking of winning next month at the AFCON. Be my guest. We win at the AFCON.
Okay, a feisty and fiery China Cheru there, giving his thoughts. I think we're getting a lot of comments from guys from Congo DR. Thank you very much for joining us. Nathaniel Kazadi K says, "You guys play good. Today, you are not good enough to beat my country." Well, I totally agree with you, Kazadi K. We were not good enough to beat Congo DR. They were the better team, and we have to, hold our hands in the air and admit when you've lost to a better team. Owolo Jonayamide once again says Moses Simon so poor every time he plays for the Super Eagles. Chikwe is an Ekong. I don't know what you mean by the two other names
I,
you
I,
mentioned.
I don't agree that Simon has been poor every time he plays for the Super Eagles. He has not been poor
I
every time
don't.
he plays for the Super Eagles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't agree
Yeah, but
too.
me,
But
yeah, I don't agree
but he
with
was
that.
poor today. He was poor
He was
today.
poor today, yes. The team was generally poor today. Let's accept it. It was a
Yeah,
poor
quite
team performance today.
a lot of the players did not come to the party today. Ayomide also says Morocco finished fourth in the last World Cup. Since then, they've won the Under 20 World Cup. Currently in the Under 17, doing well. Nigeria should be learning. It's all in the NFF hands. If you know how many years we've talked about this whole let's go back to the drawing board, it's become like a broken record. Nigeria going back to the drawing board. Pastor Ratchet Ngalula says, "I'm from DRC Congo, but Nigeria did well, but they were like they wanted to keep the ball instead of scoring." Ah, my peeps from
All
DR
these,
Congo.
all
Oh,
these, all these Congolese guys should leave us alone. Go and enjoy your intercontinental playoff in March next year. Leave us alone.
you got to give it to them. The last time they were at the
Okay,
World
yeah,
Cup
no,
is over
that
a
was
lifetime ago.
1974, right? That was
1974. Yeah,
1974. Yeah,
yeah.
that was
74,
1974.
76.
Yeah, 74 World
Okay,
Cup
74.
when they lost 9-0 to Yugoslavia and 3-0 to Brazil.
They were known as Zaire at the time. My goodness, that's a
Yeah, yeah.
lifetime ago.
Now,
I wasn't even
now,
born at
now
the
see,
time.
now see. Now, if a serious country fails to qualify for the World Cup, they will be thinking about what do we do next. Now, in Nigeria's case,
Go ahead, go
hello.
ahead, go
In
ahead.
Nigeria's case, probably the NFF president or the chairman of the National Sports Commission will come out like tomorrow or next after they fully digested what has happened and now promise us that we're going to win the AFCON next month. You're going to hear that promise. Oh, Nigerians, we are sorry, but we're going to win the AFCON next month or in January. Now, we keep telling ourselves or telling people that we can win the next tournament. We forget that football for a federation of an FA is about development. When you develop, then you can win. You don't go to win without developing. But we're always promising to win. Oh, we're going to win the next AFCON. We're going to win the next Under 17 World Cup. We're going to win the next Africa Women's Championship. That's what we keep telling ourselves without any plan, any development plan. And that's where we always get it wrong. Now, I know my country. I know Nigeria. We'll be having this conversation in 4 years from now. God keeping us alive. We'll have this talk in
Chima
4 years from now.
Chima Nwogu or in the comment section says Nigeria no get drawing board. Just leave that one. Oh my goodness. Let's see more of your comment. Danny says, "What went wrong? What was the source?" Okay, you're asking us. That winning Afcon will be a lie. Well, we just cannot say. But all I can say right now, guys, is please, if you love the content, if you love what you are watching, please like this video, like the page, subscribe to the channel. We are Foscolo TV, and there are loads and loads of football conversations coming your way on this channel. Right now, we're still doing test transmission. We haven't started fully, but of course, the game happened today. We needed to have some bit of reaction, and that's why we're here. If you're just joining in, once again, this is Foscolo TV. We have different types of podcasts coming your way. One of them is called Full Time. If you can look at the right hand top of your screen, you'll see that Full Time. That's one of the podcasts where we'll be talking about everything football from across the world. World Cup, AFCON, Premier League, La Liga, Serie, everything football will be on this podcast. Another podcast we have on this channel is Top 4 Plus One. For all of you Premier League fans, Top 4 Plus One podcast. It'll be about Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, and Manchester City. And then for all of you Arsenal fans, there is another podcast coming your way pretty soon. It's called Niger Guna Pod. It's for all Arsenal fans or Arsenal haters that want to know what's happening with Arsenal. But guys, we only plan to spend 30 minutes on this match reaction. Myself, my name is Ufoma, and of course, I've got my partner in crime, China Ikwereman Acheru, right here. Okay, let me just take a few of these your comments now. Patrick Mpoyi says football is being played on the field, not on social media. Congo Nigeria met 7 times. Congo won 4 times. Nigeria twice. I should check that stat again to be certain that what you have posted here is correct. But thank you very much for your comment. China, Ikwereman,
Yeah.
Acheru, your final words. We have to wrap this up now.
Let my final word be 2 comments I want to read out, all right, on the WhatsApp group. I mean, one is from Bolaji Douglas, played for BCC Lions in those days and had a few Super Eagles games. He said, I stopped watching as soon as I knew we were done. I don't need the stress tonight. As soon as Osimhen went out, we resorted to the form we displayed in the qualifiers against the likes of Zimbabwe. Osimhen's energy is what the team feeds on. He is the Viagra and Burantashi of the team. Without him, we went limp as usual. That's from Bolaji Douglas. And Osasu Obayiwana says, and Michelle just confirmed that Osimhen was injured and that's why he was taken off.
Obviously, you don't need a
Yeah.
soothsayer to let you know that injury was what took him out. But it's such a sad situation where once Osimhen is not in the team look out of place, out of sorts, out of energy, and like Bolaji Douglas on WhatsApp just said, look limp. Anyway, guys, thank you very much to everyone who's joined in this broadcast live match reaction of Nigeria's loss to Congo DR in the 2026 World Cup playoffs. Unfortunately, Nigeria lost, but congratulations to all of you Congo DR football fans and all of you who joined on this live broadcast on Foscolo TV. I appreciate it. Please, 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 I'm begging, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. It is for Skolo TV because of like this video, like the page too, and subscribe to the channel. We've got lots and lots of beautiful and amazing football content coming your way in a matter of weeks. Until then, until the next time we come your way, stay safe.